Hello everyone. So in this one, we're going to be talking about the best way to hurt the narcissist. Now, why would you want to hurt the narcissist? Why would you want to do such a horrible thing like that? That's what some people may be thinking. But I get it, I understand. I've been there myself. I know what these narcissists do to you. They manipulate you. They future fake, lie to you, pull you into this fantasy world. And yeah, they sell you a dream. You think you've won the jackpot. Everything you wanted, everything you're looking for. A reflection of you, of your values, your interests. And so, naturally, you're invested. You're giving it all of your attention, your love, energy, passion, hope, enthusiasm. You're pouring it all into them. And it's like, you're clapping for them, you're egging them on, giving them applause, compliments, appreciating them. And it's fueling this illusion. See, at the beginning, you think that it's real. You think that this is really who this person is. Actually, no, it's just a figment of your imagination. They planted the seed in your mind. They studied you and found out what it is that you like. And they got you to associate them with that. In psychology, this is known as coupling or paired association. They get you to associate them with something, but funny enough, is actually the opposite of what they are. And I mean the exact opposite. They couldn't be any different from that. And yet they get you to think in your mind that that's what they... And even towards the end of the relationship, they still leave you feeling like that's them. And now they're going off with a new supply. They turn the new supply into you. And it's as though they are now living your life, your dream. It's the same thing every time. And of course, that's how I can get on here, speak about it, and you all relate to it. Because you've all been through the exact same thing. And the reason why is because this stems from trauma in childhood. That's how they all do the same thing. They abandoned their true selves in childhood and created a false character. This false character needs excessive validation. They're not concerned about love. They're not concerned about connection. They're not concerned about a relationship. It means nothing to them. All they care about is themselves. They only have the capacity to care about themselves because they're traumatized people. So they have to extract the supply from you. And yet you may wonder, well, why do they suddenly become hateful, angry, devaluing you, putting you down, comparing you to someone else, triangulation, discarding you? If what they wanted is love, validation, then why do that? Here's the thing. Like I said, it's not real. It's a false character. It's nothing like what you want. It's the opposite of that. And you're pressuring them, They gave you all of these lies of future faking. And you're believing in it so much, and it's draining the life out of you. It's frustrating you, irritating you. So you end up pushing them. And you're like, well, when are we going to move things forward? When are we going to do this? And that's putting a lot of pressure on them to perform, but they can't actually be that for real because it's just not even them. They can only do things for a short time. They can only give you the illusion. So it's making them annoyed when you're doing that, when you're pressuring them. It's irritating them. It's making them feel inadequate. And yet they still want that supply. They still want some form of validation. And negativity can be validation as well. It's like, Well, if I can't be perfect, if I can't be good, useful, then let me just be a nuisance to you, an annoyance, a frustration. At least then I'm still significant. I'm still on your mind, still thinking about me. I'm still the center of your world. So it must mean that I'm powerful. I still have the ability to direct the course of events, is how they see it, and control your behavior like a puppet. So, yeah, that's why they then go to the devaluation. And they run you back and forth from the love bombing to the devaluation, just trying to drain as much out of you as they can, until finally you just become a lifeless zombie, no emotion. Now they're ready to discard you, just leave you in the pit of misery that they have created for you. And now they're idealizing a fresh new source of supply, who they haven't used up yet, who they haven't learned, and who hasn't figured them out about what they're about to do. So this is what happens every time. This is the dynamic. This is what you've all experienced, and I get it. It will anger you, it will frustrate you, it will annoy you. Because they're all about emotion, because they're dead inside. They died a long time ago. It's nothing about love, nothing about connection. It's about disconnection. Disconnection from you, and especially disconnection from themselves. Dissociation. Just being an empty, lifeless meat suit. That's what it's about. Because that's the only way they can feel like they're something. They can't feel like they're something by being themselves. So that's what this is all about. That's what this is for. And of course, it angers you, it irritates you, because they sell you a dream, they con you, scam you, make you believe in something that they can't even deliver on, that they're never going to be. And I've said this before, I've been saying it for years. I mean, the best you will ever get from them is manipulation. The best you will ever get from them is an illusion. It's never going to be any better or greater than that. It's always ever going to be something you're thinking about, you're creating, you're concocting in your minds, your creation. It's the result of your creativity, and it is a lack of originality in them because they lack character, personality. They steal from you, and they pretend that that's them now. Well, no, it's just a reflection of your virtues, your ideals. It has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. But yeah, you hating the narcissist, getting angry about it, you're just hurting yourself. That's not hurting them. That's what they want. They want you to get angry. They want your validation. They want to feel like you care, because they didn't feel like their parent cared about them in childhood. They didn't feel significant. At least not until they abandoned their true self and created a false identity to perform for the parents. And they're still doing that with you, when they discard you and they go off the new supply. It's still the performance. You're still the parents. And I don't know, maybe they did that with their parent in childhood as well. Actually, they probably did, they probably went back and forth between their parents. And now they're doing this with you as another person. I apologize for the noise. I had no idea this was going to happen here. Let me come over to this side. It may be a bit quieter so that you can hear my voice. But yeah, this is how you may notice, they're very arrogant, got to have a sense of superiority, far from humble or modest, highly egotistical. This is why they're always so serious, because they have this need to feel important. Why would someone have a need to feel important? It's because they feel unimportant. irrelevant. They feel like they're nothing because they are nothing. It's just pretending to be something. But yeah, you hating the narcissist, you getting angry, you're just hurting yourself. And you're just helping them, you know, you're further investing into them what they want. They want that supply. They want that validation. They want you to continue fueling this illusion. That's what they're trying to get from you. People are saying that's really loud. Actually, it's pretty normal here. I mean, it is a very noisy country, as you probably know from my past videos. There's always all of these like air raid sirens and all kinds of things like this. It's not really suitable for influencers. But I'm not here for too much longer anyway, and I just wanted to jump on here, share this message with you. Because I know, you know, so many of you are angry. You're really mad about what has happened, and don't resist it. I'm not telling you to just stop being angry, no. You know, I get it, that's a part of you. These are your emotions, and you're justified in feeling that way. I mean, of course, anyone would feel angry, you know, to be robbed and to be conned like that. It's a natural human emotion. How else are you meant to feel? Are you meant to be okay about it? Of course not. You know, you've given things of value, given your time, energy, love. Nothing in the world is more valuable than these things. What did you get back? An illusion, abuse. Of course you're going to be angry about it. But don't take it out on them. That's not going to solve anything. They're just going to enjoy it. They love the anger. They would deliberately just wind up their parents in childhood just to feel like their parent cares, just to feel like there's something significant. Because maybe they were neglected or abused as a child. And that's why they're repeating the same dynamic with you. It's an endless cycle with them. You cannot connect to them. They will always exploit your vulnerability, and they will never be vulnerable with you. They will always be seeking power and control over you. So, yeah, the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. If you want to hurt the narcissist, I don't want to say don't hate them, because you may hate them, and I get it. Process the emotions, gradually move past it. But to hurt them, instead of hating them, be indifferent. Treat them as irrelevant. And not just act like they're irrelevant. Understand that they are irrelevant to you. They're nothing like what you wanted, nothing like what you were interested in. And I know I'm stuttering, you know, there is gang stalking going on, so it's very distracting for me. But yeah, be indifferent. Remember what it is that you really wanted before you got involved with them. Because I know now a lot of you're feeling a lot of regret. You wish you never met them because they hurt you, they broke your heart. You didn't want to go through that pain. So you're feeling a lot of regret. You wish you just never knew they existed, probably. But go back before you met them and remember, what was it that you were dreaming about, fantasizing about, wishing that you had in a relationship partner or whatever it was. Let's go back to that. Before all of this, let's go back to that again. And desire that again. What really meant something to you. What you held close to your heart. Start thinking about that again. And dissociate that from them. Separate it. Because anything that is connected to them, it's always going to revolve around trauma, pain. Because that's all they know. That's all they've ever known in their lives is struggle. So they're only going to bring that to you. While for you, your ideas, dreams, fantasies revolved around comforts. Being comfortable, secure. Because it's a reflection of what you've known in your life. They just mimicked that. They imitated it. They don't know anything about it. So you want to come back to this place of comfort and security within yourself. And this is really just temporary to help you, distract yourself from them. So you're not caught up in their trauma, their problems, their misery. Because this is it, the reason why you are angry about what has happened and you hate them is because that's them. They are the ones who are full of anger, rage. This is why they're so antisocial. This is why they want to ruin people's lives. Because they hate their own life. Their life has never been the way that they wanted it to be. Never. This is why they resort to fantasy. This is why they had to pull you into that. So that for a moment, it's like, their entire life is miserable. But it's like, hey, at least I got this guy. I got this woman. Like a puppet on a string. Makes me feel powerful. Makes me feel in control. That's all that it is. Escapism. That's why they did that to you. And you just got to come up with it. Stop playing in their fantasy. Stop trying to compete with them. Stop trying to be better than them. Let it all go. And come back to just being humble, modest. Because this is what this does, right? When you get involved with a narcissist, it makes you want more. It just, the ego always wants more because you want to feel important. Instead, just be humble, modest. That's the quickest way to find happiness, gratitude in the moment. I mean, I'm just at a local park here and look at this. See the water fountains. There's castle here, plants, trees. Look at the colours. Got the fish swimming around in you. Everything's so bright and colourful. And this is what you do. You come out into nature. You breathe in the fresh air. And try some new foods. And just really savor the taste of it. Tune back into your senses again, because what happens when you get around these types of people is you dissociate. You disconnect from yourself because they are dissociated their entire lives. And anytime that you remind them of who they really are, if you notice the cracks, the flaws, it triggers a narcissistic injury. They feel inadequate as they are. That's why they need the fantasy. But for you, and also another point, this is why no matter what you do for them, they're never satisfied. There's no sensitivity, no real enjoyment. And even when they're engaged in something with you, whether you go to an event, a restaurant, whatever it may be, they're disconnected from it all. They're not really enjoying it. They're not even really there. It's like they're fulfilling a role. They're being something else. Pretending there's someone who they've seen before, who they once envied, who they once wished they could be. So this is it, and this is why you had such a problem with them. Even when they met you and they idealized you, they were trying to be something else. They couldn't be themselves. They couldn't be grateful for you. They're desensitized for that reason. So don't worry about them or where they're going. That's nothing to be jealous about. You're not missing out on anything. It's all fake, superficial, surface level. It's role playing. And, you know, like I said with the food, you know, they don't find any pleasure in anything. They're not enjoying any of it. There's no sensitivity, no real pleasure there. And this is why, you know, you try to do things with them, they weren't interested. They don't feel anything. They only feel anything by having power and control over you like a puppet. Feeling like they're pushing your buttons, they're making you react. That's what makes them feel alive for a moment. Even that gets boring after a certain amount of time. And then that's why they devalue you. So it's nothing good for them, you know, being a narcissist is a horrible experience. It is an absolute nightmare. So they're not moving on to anything better. Honestly, if they were, I would just say that. I would just tell you the truth. But the reality is they're not. The best way to live is to be humble, to be modest, grateful for what you have right in front of you, and tune into that. Tune into yourself and tune into that. Small things. Just like little things throughout the day, you know, little things that you see. And when you're enjoying your food, just slow it down, savor it in the moment. And that's a big part of it, you know, the reason why you get angry about it. It is because you're disconnected. It's because they've trained you to think that you're not good enough. Or that what you have in the here and now is not good enough. Because that's their experience. That's always been their experience in life. Whatever they had, whatever they were themselves, whatever was right in front of them, was not good enough, had to be changed. It's always been that way for them. Never grateful for anything. Never grateful for you. Always trying to change you. And you were doing anything you possibly could to make them happy. So what makes you think they're going to be happy in the next situation? They're never going to be. They're always going to be angry, anxious, frustrated. It's never going to be enough. What will only ever feel like enough for a moment is when they have power and control over it like a puppet. When they can put their stamp on it and be like, yeah, this is my work, this is what I created. Really, it's just what they stole. They stole your power from you. And that's the only thing that makes them feel alive. A miserable experience. The only thing that makes them feel alive is being disconnected, disassociated, not being themselves, feeling like a god, just pretty much just lying to themselves. It's miserable. It was a miserable experience for you to be controlled like that. And for them, you know, yes, you see the smirk, you see the laugh, but they're never satisfied. It's something, it's like an itch that they can't scratch. They never feel fulfilled. You will never feel fulfilled by seeking power, control, feeding your ego. There is no destination. The ego always wants more. Just like on YouTube, you know, you can have 100,000 subscribers, you get it, then you want 1 million, then you want 10 million. It's never going to be enough. It's only enough if you just drop it and just be like, just be grateful for what you have. That's how it becomes enough. If you stop trying to control it and just let it be. Appreciate the moment. Just let things be natural, organic. That's where you find happiness. That's where you find satisfaction. By not trying to control it and instead just appreciating it and recognizing, you know, it's not perfect. We're not perfect. It's flawed. But at least it's real. At least it's real. At least you actually have something in reality instead of just a stupid fantasy. So, and that's just it, you've got to be indifferent. Whether that's you entertaining another fantasy, taking them out of it because there's nothing to do with them, they're not that. And by now I hope you realize it. But also being humble and modest, that can help as well. And you will know that this is hurting them, because the moment you do that, the moment that you step out of their fantasy world, their illusion, and you come back into reality, the real world, you start appreciating yourself again, connecting back to yourself, instead of being disconnected and in their fantasy. As soon as you do that, they come back. Because then they see an opportunity to regain power over you. And that's all they want. That's the truth, is they never want to do. They saw someone who had independence, autonomy. They saw an opportunity to gain power. That's all that it was. So what they want is not you. It's not the new supply. It's not anybody. They want to feel like they have power over themselves, control over themselves. Like they're a master, a god. And you're just a tool to help them achieve that. That's all that it is. That's all it comes down to. And when you understand this from a logical perspective, rather than always being emotional, when you just think about it logically, it takes their power away. Because they need you to be emotional so that they can get their fuel. And they are always permanently emotional because they're traumatized. They're stuck in a fantasy and trying to fight their way to be on top of it. So that's why they're always so emotional themselves, and that's why being involved with them makes you emotional. It brings you down with them. But yeah, the gang stalker is pretty crazy here today. But it's how it is, As many of you have experienced, if you are someone who's grounded in reality and you have your own autonomy, you will attract a lot of these predators. They will come after you. They will want to hunt you down. It's because of your innocence, You don't see anything particularly wrong with yourself. They mistake it for arrogance. They see you as being superior. Makes them feel inferior. So they want to control it. They don't want you to be free. This is why they do that. But honestly, you just need to get away from them, come back to yourself. That's when you will begin to feel empowered. You will never feel empowered around a damaged, broken person. Someone who feels inadequate. Nothing about that is ever going to empower you. It's going to keep you trapped in the cycle of abuse. And the same thing with your ego. Striving for a sense of importance, validation. You're never going to get it. It's never going to be enough. This is why they go back and forth between the love bombing and the devaluation. Because even when you think you've got it, it still isn't enough. Then it's like, what next? Just like I said about the subscribers on YouTube. You get 1,000 subscribers, 100,000, then you want 1 million. You're never really looking back, appreciating what you had before. You still just want more power, more control. Same with the narcissist, they want more destruction. And no matter how much they just destroy everything, it's still just, they still don't feel enough. it's still not good enough for them. They're never satisfied. It frustrates them even more. And that's why you see it, when they're abusing you, the abuse escalates over time. It doesn't go down, it gets worse. It becomes even more invasive because they're not satisfied. They're never going to be. They're corrupt. However, how could they ever be satisfied? And this is it, this is why they trauma bond you and they want complete control over you, because they're thinking long term. They know they're never going to be satisfied. They need constant supply just to feel okay. So that's what this is all about. And that's why they need power and control over an innocent, autonomous person, because they feel inadequate, incomplete by themselves. Now, real love is where someone gives you space to be yourself, to define yourself, to just be you. That's what real connection is. And now that you understand this, you can move away from that and start living for real, because, as you already experienced it, it didn't feel real. You felt detached, disconnected, dissociated, just like they are, because it wasn't real. And that's never going to be real. What is real is where you define yourself and where you have control over yourself. You dictate your own movements. That's what's real, rather than you just being a puppet. So, I know this probably speaks to so many of you from what you've experienced. But yeah, this is what they want. They want to have that control over you. If it was up to them, they would have you on remote control, pushing all of your buttons. They'd probably insert all kinds of strings into you. They do like a string surgery on you and have it so they can pull one string, lift your eyelids, another one, lift your lip. They'd be doing all kinds of crazy stuff like that, just to have a sense of control over their lives. Because they were stripped of their autonomy a long time ago. But also another thing that hurts them, and more than anything, is when they had control over you and then they lose that control. This is how they end up being trauma bonded themselves. And you think, it's so empowering for them to gain the control. That's actually one of the worst things that can happen for them. Where they gain that control first and then later on they lose it. It's one of the most devastating things for them. It makes them feel regrets. And that's how some of them may say, at the end of the relationship, they say, I wish I never met you. You were the worst thing that ever happened to me, they may say. But at the beginning, they idealized you. And it's the same thing every time. Idealization, devaluation, goes back and forth until eventually they discard you. It's the same thing every time. It never changes. The idealization never continues on, because at some point they see that you do have flaws, you do have defects. It separates from the fantasy in their minds, because of course, there's reality and then there's the fantasy. And you also start to see that they're not perfect. So inevitably it goes to the devaluation. This always happens. So yeah, the opposite of love is indifference. Be indifferent to it. They're loving it when they got the power. Then they feel empowered. They feel they're good now. They're not weak. They're not inadequate. As long as they have power over you, now they're good. Even if you're angry at them, you hate them, for doing that to you, for abusing you, torturing you. Even if you're angry about it, that still fuels the disorder. Makes them even more narcissistic. But when you pull away and you fantasize about something else outside of them, you take them out of it. You just kick them out of it. See, I got this big boot here. You just kick them right out of the fantasy. You're just thinking about, no, that's not you. That's not who you are. You lied to me. You're a manipulator, a con artist. You're fake. So you take a great big boot just like this, and you kick it right up their ass. Kick them out of it. That hurts them more than anything else, because they once had something. They once had power over this perfect, ideal person, you, and now they've lost it. And especially if it's gone back and forth, where once they had the power, then they lost it, they had it again, then lost it. They're constantly fighting, striving for it, and it's slipping away from their grasp. They really feel it. They feel that loss. Nothing hurts them more than losing that supply, the grade A supply. It's the most devastating experience for them. So essentially the worst thing that can happen is, when they do get the supply, they have control over it, and then they lose it after. After they become accustomed to having that control. It's the same thing as you being accustomed to anything really, like having your car. You could just jump in your car, go wherever you want, but then one day the car doesn't work. It's devastating because you're so used to having it there. But that's all that we were to them. It's just an object, an appliance. You're just a control for them. Something where they just push a button and they feel good. Nothing else. And it's nothing about you as a person. It's everything to do with them. It all revolves around their insecurity, sense of inadequacy, and feeling empowered. It's nothing to do with you as a person. And that's why they never ask you questions. They never sit down and have a conversation with you. They never deliver on their promises, because there's nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. And that's why, they control you, they disempower you. They make it all about themselves and nothing to do with you. And they pull your personality inside out because they don't care about who you are. It's like, they couldn't care less about you. It's like they give you all of these roles to fulfill. You have to do this, do that. Nothing to do with what you want, because they don't care about you. You're just an object, you're a tool. That's all that you are to the narcissist. It's nothing like what you think it is. When you see them go off with the new supply, it's nothing like that. That's you, that's your experience. That's your experience of connection, appreciation of someone. That's your personal experience. It's not like that for them. So that helps to relieve the anger, the frustration, when you realize it's about disconnection for them. There's always a lack of gratitude, a lack of appreciation. All they care about is the power. That's all they care about. And that's how you notice, even when they degrade you, devalue you, they crush you, demolish you, they don't care. They don't care if they ruin you, if they run you into the ground, as long as they still have power. It's not about you being anything good for them. They just want the power. So that's just it. It's not about protecting, preserving you, polishing you. It's nothing like that. They make it seem that way to the outside world to get supply. But behind closed doors, it is toxic, it is dysfunctional, it's miserable. It's dirty, vile, disgusting. That's what's really going on. And that's what you were once a part of. That's what once kept you in the trauma bond. So get this into your minds. There's nothing ideal about it. But this is what so many of you are doing. You're idealizing this new relationship. Nothing ideal about it. It couldn't be any more toxic, any more dysfunctional. Even the psychologist, Dr. Ramadi, said it herself. The more ideal a relationship looks like on social media, the more toxic it is in real life. So, yeah, it's no good. Ishi G says, I like power mates. I'm not saying that power is bad. It is bad for them. You know, it's not anything of a positive experience for them. Because they're corrupt, they're fake, they abuse power. It's not even real. For you, it's a completely different story. If you have power, that can be something good. If you direct it, here's an analogy for you. If you have the power, if you're the captain of the ship, you steer it, well, you've got the wisdom, you've got the experience. You can get it to where it needs to go. You can avoid any pitfalls. So that's going to go well. If you as an empath, you have the power, or even a codependent, that could go quite well. For a narcissist to have power, that's a recipe for disaster. It's going to be toxic. It's going to be dysfunctional, full of chaos and drama. It's going to go down and become more and more degenerative with time. That's all that's going to happen when the narcissist has power. So the quickest way to expose a narcissist, just give them all the power. Everyone will soon see exactly what they're like. You give them enough rope, they will hang themselves. The only reason you don't see what they're really like is when they don't have power. As soon as a narcissist gets power, success, you see the real monster. Because they degrade with power. It doesn't polish them up, it brings them down. Power is no good for them, they abuse it. Because it's all about themselves, rather than anyone else. So, power is not bad. It's good to feel empowered. So we can give and share with people. We can share our love, our gratitude. We can build people up. Nothing wrong with that. Power is good. Control is good too. In the right hands. In the wrong hands, it is devastating. It's not good then. It's just you get it mixed up, you know, many of us do, we attribute them having power and control where it's like the same experience as if we had it, when it's not. With them it is toxic, it is dysfunctional. Completely different. So they're not winning, they haven't really gained anything from you. Because when they get it, it transmutes into negative. It's something toxic. It's not anything good. It's not anything to be proud of. It's garbage. Anything a narcissist has power or control over, it's rubbish. And I think we could all act as a representation of that. I mean, what happened to us? Being involved with these narcissists, we became rubbish, garbage. They drained us of all of our value. We had tons more value before we got involved with them, because they're garbage. When you're around someone of high value, high caliber, they will build you up. They will empower you. They're not going to bring you down. So, wherever the narcissist goes, all they do is just bring destruction, chaos. They degrade things, they don't polish them. And so whatever they got from you, it's degrading, it's rotting away, decaying from the inside out. I'm stuck in my nose. But with you polish things up. You make things look good. That's different. So that's good. And they wanted that because they know everything they get involved in, they just destroy it. And they had to bring you down to elevate themselves for a moment. So yeah, I hope this has helped you. Be indifferent. Don't show them your hate, don't show them your anger. They lack empathy. They can't feel anything for you. There's no shared experience. It's all about themselves. So you're wasting your time, directing your energy to them, trying to get them to understand things, trying to get them to feel bad for you. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. No matter how bad things get, it's not going to make a difference. If they see that you're angry, if they see that you're sad, they're not going to care. They might use it to their advantage, to trauma bond you. They're never actually going to care about you. They're never going to be able to put themselves in your shoes and feel what you feel. They lack that ability. That's why they're so desensitized. They lack the mental capacity. They're not able to do that. They're not able to feel what you feel, to share your experience. So you may as well be indifferent, because it's not going to change anything anyway. It's just you still have some hope left in you. Oh, maybe if they see how this has affected me, maybe they'll stop. Maybe they'll change. They won't. Not if they're actually a real narcissist. They're always going to be that way. They're always going to be toxic, dysfunctional, miserable, angry people. And that's never going to change. It can change for you though. You don't have to be angry, upset for the rest of your life. You can move past it by becoming indifferent. That's the beginning. By no longer being trauma bonded. Everything they do is to try and trauma bond you, because it makes them feel better for a moment. It makes them feel like they're not themselves. It lets them dissociate. That's all they want to do, is run away from reality for the rest of their lives. That's why they have to turn you into their puppet, because if you're not their puppet, you're exposing them. So, be indifferent. Stop feeding the fantasy, the illusion. Stop giving your power away. It's not doing anything. All you're doing is you're feeding a monster. A monster that can never be satisfied. Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what you pour into them. Doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to make them happy. It never will. Well, as for you, you were happy with little breadcrumbs coming from them. We were chasing after these breadcrumbs, because they could see we could be happy with so much less. So that's the difference between us. And you take that and you invest it into something else. You find joy in the little things in life. Things that aren't contaminated. Things that are pure. That's who you win. That's who you really hurt them. Because that's something they'll never be able to do. They'll never be able to find joy in things that are innocent and pure. Things that are free. Things that are real. Authentic. They'll never be able to find joy in that. They have to steal it. So, you're always the winner in the end. No matter what happens, you always win. Because you are pure, you are of love. And these are things that they will never have. This is why they envy us so much. Dr. Ramani did a video on that, Narcissist Hate Empaths. Because you can actually experience real connection. This is why they're all about triangulation, comparing you, trying to make you jealous, simulating love, connection, because they know it's the one thing they'll never have. One of the main things they'll never have. They know that. And they know it's what you want, it's what you desire, it's what you can experience. It's what you were trying to get out of them, but they couldn't do it. That's why it always revolves around that towards the end of the relationship. It's all about triangulation, jealousy. So you'll always win. You'll always have the love. You'll always have the authenticity. They will never be able to have or do that. No matter how many illusions they create, no matter how many fantasies. And I know I seem a bit distracted. It's because they're using a lot of the hand gestures now. Or they like swing their hands around and to distract me. And I know that doesn't sound so distracting, but it's the moment that I look somewhere, instantly they just jump out of like a corner or a bush or a garbage bin. And they just throw their arms around. But yeah. Also, they're doing a sleep deprivation. I've had about 5 hours of sleep a night. 4 or 5 hours of sleep for months now, practically a year. But yeah, they'll never have love, authenticity, connection. Doesn't matter how many illusions, simulations they create. No matter how much they try and fake it, no matter how much they try and pretend. No matter how much they pretend to be like you, they're never going to be that. And it's always going to be dependent on your energy, your attention, on just making you delusional, putting you in the fog. That's all they're ever going to have. Well, for you, you are going to have something real. You already have something real. You have yourself. Does it get more real than that? And that's why they targeted you. So, yeah, you know, without a doubt, you're always going to be better off being the empath. Being a narcissist is a horrible experience. They are so miserable, so angry, so dissatisfied. I mean, think about it, you know. They can never be themselves. They never get what they want. And they always have to control people. It's very exhausting. So it's miserable for them. And yeah, you just got to let it do the opposite, you know, it's your decision, how you want things to turn out. You can let it make you over-invest in them, or you can make it so that it just makes you turn yourself away. That's your decision. And you can retrain your mind so that it does that. And that's really what we've got to start doing, by recognizing that it's fake, it has no value. Above all else, you know, remember how they treated you. Remember the pain they caused you and how they showed no care or concern for your health and well-being. You think a happy person is ever going to do that to you? And that's how you know. You know, wherever they've been, wherever they come from, wherever they're going, it's not anything good. It's not anything good at all. As for you, you know, everything you tried to do for them, everything you sacrificed, it just shows, you know, the difference between you and them. How you had such a much better life, and you've got so much better things to look forward to than that. That's what it reveals. So, remember that. Remember what they did for you. Remember what they gave. Remember everything you sacrificed for them. It tells you everything you need to know. The abuse, that is your closure. It tells you who they are, tells you where they're going, it tells you how you're so much better off without them. So let it remind you of that. Give this video a thumbs up if it's helping you so far. I'm out here around some really horrible people just so I can make this video for you, put this out there. It's not a pleasant experience being around gang stalkers, although they probably think it is in their delusional minds, that, you know, it's the best thing that could ever happen to you is to be under their control. Actually no, it's one of the most miserable experiences. But yeah, you can feel empowered with someone else. You could be you with someone else. Someone will let you be you. And what, you know, once you heal, once you move on and you find that, you're not going to be thinking about them. Why would you want to go back in the dungeon where you stripped of everything? Why would you want to do that? And so you give it time and it's going to be a no-brainer. You're going to be so much better off without them. And that's really it, you know, that's all you got to let it do. When they're abusing you, you hold on to that and you let those experiences define them in your minds. And then you realize you could be so much better off in practically any other place. And let that drive you. Let that drive you to a healthier place. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And for deeper truths, you can read my daily blog post, book a one-on-one with me. Go to my website, it is narcsurvivor.co.uk. Narc Survivor Coaching on TikTok and Instagram. Fuzzy1C says the gang stalkers try to get you to overreact. That's because they always overreact. They want to make you like them. Because they have these emotional issues. They're over-emotional. They're constantly suffering. And that's why they want to see you going through it, because it's like, oh, they can't ever be happy, they can't ever experience peace. So why should you get to have that? That's how they think. That's why they're always trying to take it from you. They envy what they don't already have. If they had it, they wouldn't be worried about you having it. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all for joining me. Outside the castle. And the pond with the fish. And let's not forget this giant boot. It's time to boot these narcissist asses out the door. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree. And yeah, that's it for this one. I'll speak to you in another live video very soon.